Hi everybody, it's Rolex here once again on the Magic Find to Headhunter Season 2. On this part 4, there's nothing special going on. I got 3 nurses, so if you want to skip the video, yeah, feel free to do so. But don't forget to like my video and also subscribe as well. Uh, there's nothing much to talk about in this part. I think after the change of the passive that I changed my cluster jewel and a little bit of fine tuning the character. I think it was pretty successful, I would say. I freeze a lot more things, and it's much easier to shatter thing, and I didn't see any lack of the shattering throughout the gameplay. Not like before when I using the devastator, 2 of them, which is 30% chance to explode monsters on kill, which somehow ruins the build quite a bit. But yeah, right now I shatter most things. There's some map with avoidance, the element avoidance that sometimes make the build a little bit worse. But there's nothing too much to talk about there because it's just it just happened because you run every single map mod, and some of those map mods still gonna exist. And especially if you roll with like a Val orb that you have like 8 mods on the map, which will increasing the chance of getting the avoidance a lot. And that's probably the main thing that I want to talk about after I changed to blast freeze. There's a comment down that like are you using coal cluster jewel, like what the cluster jewel that I supposed or this build supposed to be using. There's a lot of things you can obviously use a lot of stuff. You can even use the voices because like you don't really need the base that much. You can use the voices and 3 megalomaniac for some extra juice. You can get like good megalomaniac, of course, like that would be worth. But yeah, I can't really get like good megalomaniacs like for that much. And the voices would probably be the more extreme in terms of like min maxing, because you could do a lot of stuff with voices. And that's pretty much it for the cluster jewel. You can run with bow cluster jewel, you can run with coal cluster jewel, you can even run with the elemental cluster jewel. And maybe some of the it's just generic attack cluster jewel can be used as well if you want to, or just don't use it at all. Like you can just pick the points on the passive and it's still going to give you value. And that's probably going to be pretty much like what I want to talk about, the overall gameplay. But now I will show you what's the results, like all of them, right? So I dropped a bunch of these. It's not that much, I would say. Grand Spectrum, I corrupted it. Lions Raw, Max Raw. I haven't sold any of these Lions Raw, so I'm probably gonna try to sell it. Blaze Fury, this one I just corrupted. I level it up to level 20, getting to 20% quality. And as I said, the price is going down to 1x to now, so it's not really that worth. So I'm just starting level the elemental hit instead, because elemental hit is always a stable choice if you want to level the gem, and if you want to make it 20 quality and then corrupt them and have a chance of them turning into 21. So if you want to do that, just go with the gem that you can afford to do. You'd go with Awaken Added Coal. It's going to be much more profitable because you don't need to corrupt them. Getting them to level 5, you can sell them +1 exalts or +2 exalts depending on the price of the market right there. And then yeah, there's a bunch of I got a Tended Exalted Orb as well, even though it's not that exciting. I happen to krangle something that's really cool. This one has insane amount of life. As you can see, the Grapevine, this one has 40 life with a 6% maximum life. You can play with minion build, of course, so reduce projectile damage, doesn't do anything to your minion. So I think this one, it's a good corruption, it's a good Scourge as well. This one doesn't do anything, it's a pretty bad roll, 684 with the LA weakness on hit and a knockback, which is like, why, right? I got a resistance, the Astrid foible, but I got a -24 lightning resistance, so I stopped because I think like, well, maybe if some Doryani prototype mana stacking build would probably use it, but I know nobody really play mana stacking these days anyway. And I got a Syntric. That one is absolutely freaking amazing. It has 6% increased maximum energy shield as I corrupted, and then I Scourged it, and it got plus 32 evasion rating and plus 25 resistance. And it has base energy shield of like 190 because quality is 29. So that means when you allocate the mastery for the energy shield and evasion, you have plus 1 energy shield per 8 evasion on boots. Means that you will get an insane amount from this boots, like insane amount of evasion, because you have another plus 32, and then on top of that you can get up to 30% quality on the corrupted boots now. So that's pretty good. I corrupted the Cosspirit Malaise for the damage penetrate 8% elemental resistance, and then I krangle it. It's like 3 times. It's landing on a bad Scourge, but well, I mean, it's kind of brick now. Nobody really want to use this. I got an Ice Fang, reduce global defense with mana gain on hit, and Life Leech, which I don't know, like poison, chatter. Like, I don't think that's good, but well, I mean, it's cool. Grease Embrace with the extra cold resistance on top of cold resistance, and then reduce global defense. And it's a 15% quantity, so it's kind of worth something. This would probably be still, I don't know, for a couple chaos. A corruption of fluid motion, cannot be hindered. And then a bunch of garbage stuff, co-iron point that I just skirt them to tier 3. And of course, 3 nurses that I mentioned. So that's a 50 maps, and then I drop a lot of Exalted Orb. Like, in this 50 maps, probably the most Exalted Orb that I got so far. I got 1 or 2. I think I got 2 Nemesis 3 modifier on Watchstone. No, on Watchstone, on Sextant. So yeah, I dropped a lot of Exalted Orb. But I think I got Exalted Orb from the Nemesis 3, about like 2 or 3 of them, and then the rest is just like some random drop from the Scourge monsters and some some normal monsters in maps as well. So yeah, there's a lot of Exalted Orb. I think this one is way over the top, like way more than you would expect it in 50 maps. Maybe in every 10 maps you would get 1 Exalted Orb. That'd probably be average. But 12 in 50 maps, that's like insane, right? And I think I sold something for 1 Exalt. I don't really remember. But 11 Exalt still like pretty big deal for any maps that you run in 50 map. I pre-map, like every single time that my map stat is full. So as you can see, I'm about to full now, and then I'm gonna do pre-map session again, and I put the Nemesis, Unid, and Beyond here. This one is Beyond, this one is Nemesis, and then this one is just Unid map. And there would be some section down here that I would put like Beyond and Nemesis together. If they have like both Beyond and Nemesis in their maps. So you can, like, you have to have knowledge about the map mod that you would want to keep, right? So you want to separate some map mod. Like, a lot of people trying to keep like these types of map mod, like getting around like 40% pack size. You put it aside, and then you put it on when you get 100 Tater, or when you get like Beyond or whatever, Sextants. But I don't really do that. I only do for Beyond and Nemesis map, because separating a lot of things, it's just like, it's too much work, right? Just unidentified map, and then Beyond, and then Nemesis. That's only 3 options that I have. If I roll Nemesis, getting 3 additional like basic currency, I'm gonna use Nemesis, just Nemesis, right? And then when I got Beyond map, I'm gonna use Beyond. But if I get them both together, I'm gonna use Beyond Nemesis if I happen to have one. If I don't have any Nemesis and Beyond together, I'm gonna just use Nemesis. Like, it's fine. You don't need to choose your map that much. Like, in the long term, you will get currency. Like, you will get a lot currency anyway, because you're playing a Magic Find. And because you're playing Magic Find on a low tier map, it doesn't really matter. You get so much currency anyway, like without even trying to min max your map that much. But if you want to min max, you would roll pack size to be over 27% every single time before you corrupt them. And if you corrupt them and it turned down to about like 17% monster pack size, you would drop that map. You would just forget about that map or just delete it, right? You just forget about it and never run it. You only run 30% pack size. That will, 27% plus or something pack size. And that will guarantee you to get more loot, more overall loot in the same amount of time that I'm doing. But I just don't care. Like if I have maps that corrupt, that's rare, I'm going to run it because it's a map. Maps is a map. It has a chance of dropping something, even though it's not a good chance, but it still had the chance of getting something. And I'm still running with Sextant, and I bought a lot of Sextant. As you can see, I spend a lot of Exalted Orb to buy Sextants and buy a lot and some other thing as well. There's some secret builds that I would don't want to show up it yet, but yeah. So yeah, the Headhunter is put it aside. I would get Headhunter anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And in the end, I would get Headhunter anyway. But for now, I'm just gonna play something else as well, because run 50 maps and then I can play something else during the day, and then I make video, and yeah, I can prepare a couple video like along the line, more than just one now, because last time was like about 8 to 9 hours before finishing the 100 maps. Now I can finish it in about like 3 to 4 hours. It's just really nice time, and then I can do something else with my time. I can play something else. I can play some other builds, using the same currency stash, but it's fine, right? But I'm not using any currency from this stash like ever, because I'm using on my main stash. And every single time I finish the 50 maps, I will move this stash to the main stash. And I was trying to sell as much as possible of these things. Probably not Coal Iron Point, because like it's just bad. And I think that's gonna be it. This video is gonna be short because there's just nothing to talk about. Like I have no passive changes. I have no strategy changes. It's still going to be the same. I'm still running Persecutory Delusion, which is sometimes getting Beryllium, just 3% chance of middle of Beryllium. That's pretty much it. Running Diplomatic Escort and Temper Proof. Like this is just your pretty much go-to for like a low tier map farming. You can run with the Spore in the Wind, but I skip all the Blight. I skip all the mechanic that involve use to stop, like Blight, Harvest, and even maybe Sana, maybe Alva. Sometimes you skip Alva, but yeah, we'll talk about that in later. Sometimes you skip Alva because you don't want to complete the temple, right? You don't want to complete the temple. Sometimes you skip Alva. But yeah, you shouldn't skip Alva, but sometimes I skip because I just don't care enough to do it. But you should do it because it's just so good, right? It just gives you so much more monster. But sometimes I skip because I don't want to talk to her. Like it's legitimately just because I need to talk to her. I skip Metamorph because Metamorph doesn't do anything except if I get a Metamorph in the Nemesis 3 map. So it spawned a lot of rare monsters, so still doing it. I'm still using Secrets of Stones. Close Allies doesn't do anything. Entering Influence, so you need only Secrets of Stone and Entering Influence for low tier farming. And if you go higher tier, you can just pick a neutral, like neural pathways, instead of Close Ally. You don't need Close Ally, I don't think. You can do neural pathway, and I think if you completed the fear, you can also do something like Remnants of the Past, or maybe just like doing synthesis stuff. I don't know, like that's depending on your preference. But that's gonna be it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions about the build, you have any question about the the idea of why farming magic fine low tier, it's something, you can write it down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe though. Bye.